Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another installment of Girlfriend's Guide to Comic Books. This time we are, say it with me, Cooney from UHF.
I don't know. I just thought.
Supplies!
Yes, we are talking about supplies. This is our second of three segments on this. This time we're going to be talking about board boxes for your comic books, how to store them and stuff like that. Um, you know, um, if you were paying attention to my growing up comic books segment, I told you like when I first started off this, I didn't have these fancy corrugated cardboard um, white boxes to put my comic books in. I put it in like old paper, old computer paper boxes and old like 2 liter bottle of sodas boxes to keep them all collected, and I liked it. Um, but I eventually learned about the whole boxes situation, and there's a number of different boxes for different kind of different companies and stuff like that you choose from. Usually, boxes run from $4.90, which is the price that Comic Pro Line offers, but you have to buy them in bulk. You have to buy 15 at a time, so um, they come down to $4.90 a piece, but you have to buy 15 at once. So that kind of, you know, is kind of like a catch 22. Um, I usually I the way I collect comic books, the 15 boxes will go through in like maybe a month or 2 months. Um, so I'd have no place to use it. But if you have a place, you need a place to store them. You need a place. If you have a small collection, you don't like actually buy comics that often. Um, it might not be worth your money. So the price savings you get by buying in bulk might not be worth it. The high end is Ultra Pro for my, as far as I can see, which is $14, and I believe I don't know if that's for a short box or a long box. Um, and for long boxes, they are uh, the lowest price is I believe the again Comics Pro line. We have to buy in bulk of 15. They cost you $6.88 per box, and the highest would be the BCW boxes, which are about $14.99. Um, Again, and this is like all like taken as if I'm filming this, uh, with the differences between like with the whole problem with the tariffs and the economy and inflation and everything like that. These prices might change. They might be more expensive. So don't hold me to this. This as of I was going to see the prices that I found online for them. And again, like I said in the last episode about the comic book bags and boards, you're usually on the mercy of the your comic book dealer when getting this. You usually don't buy them direct from the company, um, unless you really want to. You might start thinking about that if you get a good deal on it. Um, but you probably go with whatever they choose for the box for their store. And a lot of times it's kind of like a case of like sometimes there's shortages and one distributor doesn't have it and one company doesn't have theirs in stock and they're waiting on it and they have to go to another one to get the comic book boxes for their clientele because the clientele is asking for it. And if your customers are asking for something and you don't get it for them, they'll go someplace else who will. Um, there's a couple foibles about just these boxes here. Something is every comic book box corporation seems to have a different sizing. There's no uniform size between the whole thing. BCW boxes are usually like about an inch or two longer than most other companies, um, which it doesn't really notice when you first get it, but if you're stacking them, you'll notice like okay, well, wow, this box has is quite a bit smaller than that. I should not put this on the bottom because it'll probably lead to tipping over. Um, I don't know why there's no uniform set between that, uh, and that's for short boxes. There, I'll probably same for long boxes too. Um, but if you're buying for your friend or something other, you need to know what they prefer. Do they prefer short boxes? Do they prefer long boxes? Do they really like to have all unified sizes and stuff like this? You you need to discuss that with them. Um, do they prefer to have long boxes? Personally, I used to get long boxes, but long boxes could hold up to like about 300, roughly around 300 comic books, depending like the size and thickness and what of the comic book and whatnot that's in there, and they get really heavy. The short boxes I weighed one time. A full short box weighs about 18 pounds, and you got to figure that has about like 150 to 170 books in it. So the long box will probably be twice that. So it'll be probably about 36 pounds lugging around. Um, I know many of you Herculeses out there who say like 36 pounds, I could do that. Hey, that's no problem to me. Hey, I can do that in my sleep. Yeah, but as you get older and the joints start to go and arthritis starts to set in, having that kind of weight around there is bad. I'm going to try to, I have several drawer boxes, which I'll go into in a little bit, um, that I have them in there. They're long boxes. But I'm going to try to switch them over all to short boxes because it's just easier to move, easier to restack, easier to like rejigger if I need to like look for a particular issue or whatever. Um, there's also a like a plastic box. Plastic boxes, I see them on like there's two kinds. BCW has like looks like an actual packing crate. It's like very thick, uh, very very durable plastic. And Bags Unlimited offers one where it looks more like just a regular box but made out of corrugated plastic instead of corrugated cardboard. Um, there is it's 20, there's just $20 for a short box and $25.90 for a long box. And the BCW, which is a thicker material, obviously will be more expensive. It's $35.99 for a short box and looks like $55.99 for a long box. This might be cost prohibitive for people who have a lot of comic books in there. But however, if they have like, it seems to be more sturdier and more evenly stackable and less chance of like having, stuff bend or bow or tip over. Um, like paying, 3 times as much for a box doesn't really seem cost efficient for me with the collection I have. Um, but you have to like view it on yourself, and if you're just starting out, or your boyfriend or girlfriend or significant others just starting out, and they want to do this and have this grow with it, it might be an easier way to actually have a more secure way of storing your comic books. Also, when it comes to at least short boxes, these have patterns and designs. My advice to you, the person who might be buying these for your friend, even though or loved one or whatever, uh, even though he likes the X-Men, there's a really cool X-Men box there, and you think, wow, this would be cool to get him to put his comic books in. I'd advise against it. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but it seems like, as a rule, these uh, kind of boxes break down really easy. They fall apart much quicker than the normal boxes would. Maybe because like it's a more glossy finish on the box and the adhesive doesn't stand as well. But 9 times out of 10, I have to, like, if I have these boxes for my comic books, I have to put like duct tape or electrical tape or some kind of tape to hold them together, or else they just fall apart and the comics will be all over the floor. And if you have big duct tape on your pretty picture on the box, it kind of defeats the purpose of having a pretty picture on the box. So that's my attitude towards that. If you have a different experience with that, leave it in the comments. I'd be more than happy to hear that. Um, but also, there's a thing called drawer boxes, and it looks like there's like two companies that basically do this. For the longest time, it was the collection drawer company that had kind of like the corner of the market on it. What basically is a drawer box is, if you're not familiar with it, it's a box. It's like kind of like your typical long box or short box, only it doesn't have a lid. Instead, it has like this kind of like um, shell that it goes into. It's kind of like a long, like cardboard tube, and you put it in there, and it acts as kind of like a really cheap shelving unit for your comic books. So if you need to access something, instead of like having to take off all the comic books you have packed on top of it, and take the lid off and then go through it, you could just open it up and do that. I've had really not had a good experience with it. I've had like a couple that had like blowing issues and stuff with this, and I tried to keep it like to like I think 5 or 6 is the maximum height you have to do with that. but it's still kind of like after a while just kind of like bowed a little bit. And for me, that's kind of like counterproductive of having like an actual a comic book box if you're going to have like that in there, because when it bows, you can't really get the drawer out easily. Um, so I'm going to try to transfer those over to like regular, ordinary, run-of-the-mill short boxes. If I ever get, I have them enough offsite storage. Um, it just saves space in my place of dwelling. Um, uh, but like I said, that's the collection drawer company had it once for a long time. But then BCW got in the business as well. I haven't tried any of those drawer boxes, but if they're the same quality as the BCW actual regular boxes, they are probably going to be pretty good. The prices for the boxes, of course, are the collection boxes for a short drawer box set. They only sell them in sets of 5. It would be looks like $82.50 for a set of 5, which comes out to be about $16 a piece. And then $99.75 for the long boxes, which comes out to be about $19.95 a piece. For the BCW boxes, they sell the shells separately for like about $14-15. But if you want a combo one, it'll cost you $21.07 for a combo short box, and about $31.05 for a combo long box, if you so choose. Of course, there are other options out there that don't involve bags and boards for that. There are certain people I've seen online that just use bookshelves to store their actual comic books. I believe John Jackson Miller, I think, or Brett Frankenhoff, one of the editors from CBG, Comics Buyer's Guide, that was how they used it. They just get the whole shelving units from IKEA, put them in the thing, and stand the comic books up, so on and so forth, sideways. The problem with this for me is kind of like, unless you have like these square bound issues, where you can't like actually like look at it and see what it is, you won't know what it is. You have to keep on pulling it out, unless you get like some kind of special demarcation that you put in there that tells you what series it is. I never thought that'd be it. Like, I thought it might be a good idea to do that. But it's like I'm not really taking the chance. And I don't know how many comic books you can get in there. I might need like 500 shelving units, and again, cost is an issue for that much. Some people also use, and I see a lot of people, it's kind of popular, filing cabinets for their comic books. You get occasionally a comic book filing cabinet that's fireproof and waterproof and stuff like this, and people like the additional safety that brings. Some of the newer ones, filing cabinets, can be kind of expensive, depending exactly, if you want like a big, high and wide version, or a typical like stand-up one or whatever. A lot of people do seem to buy it on like places like Facebook Marketplace or eBay, where people are trying to get rid of their own personal stock that are older, gently used, gently loved items, and putting them into on sale. So you get them that way, and that makes their process a little bit easier and a little cheaper. That's an option for you. There's also, like, a couple years ago, there's a company called Comic Cubes that made actual wooden kind of like cabinets for your comic books. You could put it in there and like put all your comic books in there and keep them completely safe. And it's about a short box worth of comic books you put in there. Their Facebook has not been updated since December of 2023, so I don't know if they're like had that much backlog of making the cabinets, or are they just out of business. There's nothing on there, and everything I could check online, I couldn't really find anything offhand unless I missed something, which is a very distinct possibility with me. So I don't know if they're there, but there's also, if you go on Etsy, there's a whole bunch of storage options, boxes and stuff like that. You could find there. There's this one company called, I believe it's the North Jersey Woodcraft which does a whole line of comic book, like I guess they're cabinets, I guess, and they have certain ones that you could have a solid wood thing or a glass front, so you could actually put a comic book in there and you can see what comic books are in there without even opening up the drawers. You say they're really well made and they have like the kind of like soft closing and stuff like this, but they usually cost like thousands of dollars, um, which is not bad if you want go crazy with it, um, and you have the money for it. Um, but for casual everyday people or people who have big collections, it's not financially feasible. However, if you have a small dedicated collection, it might be good for you just to have that as a conversation piece in your home, just to show off your Star Trek collection if you want to. Um, but my like last time I had like a whole, I told you like my dream if I hit the lottery when it comes to supplies, when it comes to bags and boards. When it comes to storage, what I would like to do is I like to create. Let's pretend if I win like the really big lottery, a comic book vault. Um, Basically, I used to work at this place that marketed student loans and used to have their files, the borrow files, in these rolling shelving units. They're fireproof, and they had them all in the same room together, and they had all in there. That's what I'd love to have for my comic books. It seems to me like a better use of space. Just putting the boxes up there, marking the boxes which everything's in there, and just like when I need to look at something, I could just like roll it and go into there and get that one, and so on and so forth. Um, that's probably going to be more expensive than any of the options I give to you now. So it's going to be a Walter Mitty fantasy for probably for the rest of my life, unless of course, like I become a millionaire overnight, which I don't think so. But if you want to help me out with that, um, subscribe to the channel, like this video, so more people's eyes get on it. Share it, comment if you want to. See if you have a different way of storing your comic books that I have not mentioned that you might like to have. Um, Put it in the comments, and I could try to either research it or try to like delve into it, or you could let people know about that. Um, this will all help this channel grow and help with engagement. All right, that's it. I'll be closing up this this topic next week with various and sundry, the miscellaneous storage issues and stuff, and other kind of collecting kind of stuff. But until then, keep on collecting.